Hello, wonderhussie here in the middle of nowhere again. This time, I'm on my way home. I'm just coming back from a trip to Arizona. And on my way back from Arizona, I stopped off in Vegas. And then I stopped off in Pahrump to run a bunch of errands in the big cities since we don't have any services out here. You know, living on the edge of Death Valley definitely has its benefits. Like, just listen to how absolutely still it is right now. Amazing. But although living out here in the middle of nowhere does have its benefits, it also has a significant number of drawbacks, including the fact that there aren't any services out here. So I've been on the go all day, running errands in Vegas and then running errands in Pahrump, and I'm finally on my way back down this lonely desert highway to the edge of civilization where I have, for better or for worse, chosen to live. But I decided to stop and do one last thing before I head back to the ranch. Dang, a traffic jam right here at the world famous Charles Brown Stripe. I've filmed here before. This is this really interesting geologic formation on the highway that runs from the quaint little town of Shoshone into the equally quaint little town of Pahrump. And this stripe is world famous to geologists all over the place. They come out here, and it's not uncommon to see vans parked here with a bunch of bright-eyed, bushy-tailed geology students looking at this thing, taking notes, drooling. Dang, there's a lot of traffic out here today. Anyway, this Charles Brown Stripe is apparently a very significant formation. My layperson's understanding is that it's a layer of compressed volcanic ash from a giant volcanic explosion something like 400,000 years ago that got compressed between these two layers of rock to the point where it turned shiny black. It got vitrified. Okay, I think that's the fancy scientific term for this stripe. It's vitrified volcanic ash, meaning it has become glassified. That's what vitrified means. So I guess because of the pressure of these other two layers of rock, it squeezed the ash together and turned it into an obsidian-like material. And since there appears to be a lull in the traffic jam, I'll go ahead and go across the street and give you a close-up view of this Charles Brown Stripe. And again, I've done this before in a video, but just in case you forgot, this is what it looks like up close. It's black, it's shiny, it's even kind of sparkly. Some might even call it beautiful in its own unique way. Certainly the thousands of geologists and geology students who come out here every year to look at it would probably agree with me and think that it's beautiful. Golly, can't have a moment to myself out here. Anyway, I also think it's kind of interesting. Above the stripe, there's this layer of like really pockmarked, I don't know what kind of stone this is. Golly! I guess I need to come back out here with one of the thousands of geologists that are out here almost all the dang time. I'm not kidding. A lot of the business in town, even at the hot spring resorts, aren't even people who are here for the hot springs. It's geology students and geologists. Apparently this whole area is kind of a wonderland for people who are interested in rocks. Myself included. I mean, I don't have a formal interest in geology, but, you know, a casual interest. You know, I think stuff like this is just really interesting. And I did address this in my other video, but I'll go ahead and say it again here in case you missed that. This is called the Charles Brown Stripe, and that's not because it looks like the zigzag stripe on Charlie Brown's shirt, even though if you use your imagination, it kind of does. No, this is called the Charles Brown Stripe because it's named after this dude, Charles Brown, who was a state senator in this area. If you've ever been to the little market in Shoshone down the road there, you've probably seen that cool, funky old vintage sign that says Charles Brown Market. Well, his family members still own the town of Shoshone. They go back generations. He was not only the state senator for whom this stripe was named after. He's also the state senator for whom this highway is named after. This whole highway, which wasn't paved until relatively recently, that's also named after Charles Brown. Anyway, that's not why I'm here today. I'm actually interested in what's going on up above the stripe. It looks to me like that would be an amazing overlook up there from which you could see out over this entire amazing, beautiful, and very desolate desert valley and enjoy the sunset. You know, the perfect place to relax, crack a beer, chillax, watch the sunset before heading the rest of the way home to unpack the ungodly amount of crap in my rig. Okay, I had a feeling this would be an amazing place to sit and watch the sunset. And I think I'm right. Actually, I know I'm right because I've actually driven up here before. I'm a curious person, you know, and I have to drive back and forth on this highway to go buy groceries in Pahrump at least once a week. And so as I'm driving along, I always look at, you know, little spur roads that go off to the side. Like there's one right there. You know, anytime I see a little dirt road, well, I wonder where it goes. So much so that I even kind of made up a little song once when I was driving around through central Nevada. Little dirt road, I want to find out where you go. That's my jam. So one time when I was driving along to Pahrump, right around the point where I got to the Charles Brown stripe, which incidentally is right down there below us. Anyway, one time when I was driving along this gorgeous desert highway to Pahrump, I looked up above the stripe and I saw this spot, and I saw that there was a way to get up here. And so one day I decided to take the little spur and see if it went up here, and it did. And it's very rough, so don't try this at home, you guys. You have to have a very specialized vehicle to get up here. But it's an amazing spot. Okay, first of all, you can see for, I don't know how many miles in every direction. How many miles do you think that view is? All the way through that desolate valley, that swale, and you can see the mountains beyond. And then you can see the curve of the Charles Brown Highway as it wends its way through the desert hills to Shoshone. And you can even kind of see in the far, far distance, you can see the town of Shoshone. And then, well, when I get down off of here, I'll keep going that way to where I live in Tecopa, which you can't really see Tecopa, but you can see some of the lake bed, the bottom of what was ancient Lake Tecopa. Remember, 100,000 years ago, all of this was underwater. There was a vast inland sea here, and we're basically living in its dried up remains, which some might say is kind of a forecast for the entire desert southwest of the United States. You know, the way we're living out here is the way everyone's going to be living west of the Oklahoma Panhandle. You know, once all them aquifers run dry, everybody's going to be living at the bottom of a dried up lake. Essentially, wow, look at it. This is actually fun to watch the traffic from up here. It's not bothersome at all. Here comes a big rig struggling its way up the grade. A lot of big rigs use this cutoff if they don't want to go through Vegas. They come down I-15 over yonder to Baker, you know where the big thermometer is, and they take Highway 127 from Baker through Shoshone, and then they come up here to Pahrump, and then or go north up through Nevada. It's just a nice shortcut, if you will, to avoid the mess that is Vegas. Driving around in Vegas is hard enough in a regular car, and I should know. I just spent all day doing it, but I can't imagine doing it in a semi-truck, dragging a trailer. So I totally get why these truckers would come this way. Listen to him. Boy, he is a chugging up that grade. Well, while he chugs up the grade, I'm gonna make my way back over to my car and get myself a very special treat. Okay, like I said, I'm coming home from a trip. I was just down in Arizona for about a week. And sometimes when I come home, I get a little bit melancholy, like, oh, the adventure's over. So I like to give myself a little treat to sort of ease the sting of returning home. And this is an even more special treat because this is going to be my very first ranch water of the year. That's right, my first ranch water of the season, of the year. It was too cold to drink ranch waters during the winter time. You know, I'm more of a cocoa gal in the winter. Put a little bit of bourbon or whiskey in that cocoa. But in the summertime, you know, I do like these ranch waters, and so I was pleased to see they still carried them. I get emails from people sometimes. See, I told you I had a lot of crap from Vegas in the back of my car. I'm trying to find my camp chair. Oh, it's over here. A lot of people email me going, man, wonderhussie, where do you get them ranch waters? They're hard to find. Yeah, they can be kind of hard to find, but I've had pretty good luck buying them at Sprouts. It's kind of like a natural foods grocer. They usually carry them. Anyway, they're not for everybody. They're only 4% alcohol. They're not very strong, and they don't have any sugar, so it's not like they're delicious. But I like them for precisely those two reasons. I won't drink too many of them because they're not that tasty, and even if I do, it doesn't add up to that much alcohol or sugar. Okay, anyway, enough yakking. Let me set my camp chair up here on top of this rock. Oh, don't want this receipt to blow away. Don't want to litter. Yeah, I'm gonna set my camp chair up on this rock and just sit here and watch the sunset. Cause why not? Only downside is it's a little breezy up here. Hopefully the audio is okay. Man, I need a longer selfie stick so you guys can see how awesome this is. I'm sitting in my camp chair on top of this rock overlooking all of Death Valley, or at least all of the part of Death Valley that concerns me in my life. See, this is about the time I wish I had my drone with me. This would be an amazing drone shot. If I was flying my drone around, you would be able to see exactly that I am sitting right on top of the world famous Charles Brown Stripe. And it would be kind of funny if a van full of geology students rolled up right now, because they probably wouldn't even see me up here. They would just pull into the parking lot down there where we just were and get out and start looking at the stripe. And they wouldn't even know that there was some ninny sitting up here drinking ranch water. Unless, well, even if they looked up, I don't think they could see me because of the way these formations are. I think it blocks the view. So I could really mess with them and start making noises. Whoa, this is the ghost of Charles Brown. Leave my stripe alone. You know, I could really freak out those cute little geology co-eds, really give them a scare. Anyway, cheers to this beautiful sunset and the lack of geology students for me to mess with. Cheers to everybody watching this at home. Raise your coffee, raise your grapefruit juice, raise your water, raise your fist, whatever you got, raise it with me in a salute to the magnificence of this view. Salud. Beautiful. Oh yeah. The non-delicious taste of ranch water. Golly, now I'm never going to get a sponsorship from Lone River. I'm very particular. I've tried other ranch waters. This is the only one I like. And I keep saying like it doesn't taste very good. It's not that it doesn't taste very good. It doesn't have any sugar in it. So it's not all sugary. Like you get them Mike's Hard Lemonades, which guilty white trash pleasure of mine. I love a blood orange, and it's very hard to find. Mike's Hard Lemonade. Well, yeah, but you look at the back of the Mike's Hard Lemonade, it's got like 70 grams of sugar. This bad boy is just made with, I think it has agave syrup in it, and only a little at that. Plenty of carbonation, though. Oh, it's actually super pleasant up here right now. I mean, super pleasant. My car said it was 88 degrees when I pulled off to the side there, but I don't think it's 88. It feels much cooler than that with this breeze. It's the perfect balmy temperature, and it's a blessing because it's been real hot lately. This heat dome has covered the western U.S. for the past week or so, and we've had unseasonably high temperatures. Okay, it was like, I think it was over 100 degrees here. Remember, I was in Arizona, so I wasn't here. But in Arizona, oh my God, it was over 100 degrees there. Forget about it. And my sister said it was over 100 degrees here too, which is a real bummer because living out here on the edge of nowhere in this blistering, searing environment. Oh wait, look, a car pulled over in the Charles Brown Stripe viewing area. I'm gonna have to talk quietly so they don't hear me. I'm just curious if they're gonna look up and see me. I was gonna say the chick's probably just gonna get out and take a piss, which to be perfectly honest, is what I did before I shot this video. And it wouldn't be good form for me to spy on her, let alone film her, while she's taking a whiz. But no, it looks like she just got out to take a picture with her cell phone, which who can blame her? Because, I mean, again, do I need to remind you of this amazing view? I mean, I'm sitting up here enjoying it in my camp chair. She's down there at ground level, enjoying the same thing. Oh man, I kind of wish she would come over here so I could start in with my Ghost of Charles Brown shtick and test it out before I try it on the geology students, but I don't know. I don't want to freak her out. She looks like some nice tourist lady who probably doesn't even know who Charles Brown is anyway. Oh god, the sun is getting ready to go down over the mountains. Look at that. How beautiful. And the temperature is going to drop a few degrees once it does. And it'll be even more pleasant. Oh yeah, like I was saying, we've had this heat dome making things unseasonably hot here. And it's like, it's a bummer, man. It's like, it's not fair. We only get 2 windows of pleasant weather in the desert, one in the spring and one in the fall. And so right now, March is supposed to be like our time. This is the time for desert folk to be able to go out, emerge from our emerge from our heated caves and come out into the world and blink our eyes and look at the wildflowers. And there she goes. She probably did hear me blabbing and went, oh, I came out here looking for solitude, not this. Sayonara, Missy. Good luck looking at that super bloom. She's probably out here to see the wildflowers like everyone and their Aunt Sally. I'm sure you've read about it. I've had a lot of people email me, wonderhussie, you should go check out the Death Valley super bloom. Well, first of all, it wasn't an actual super bloom. The climactic conditions failed to meet the precise requirements to qualify as a super bloom, but it was a better wildflower bloom than usual. And I did drive through Death Valley during it, and it was remarkable, but it wasn't the kind of remarkable that would translate on film. You know, it's a subtle thing, these little tiny yellow flowers everywhere. And if you live out here and you see this every day because you drive by on your way to the dang grocery store in Pahrump every week, then you notice it, and then it's noteworthy. But for most people, I think it would have been underwhelming, and so I didn't go out there and film that. Also, it was blazing friggin' hot. It was too hot to go into Death Valley looking at wildflowers. This heat dome really did a number on my spring. I want my spring back. The indifferent desert has no comment. Oh, I feel like this is a sign that it's going to be a super hot summer. And we didn't get a lot of rain this past winter, so that means there's probably going to be a lot of wildfires too, which, well, fortunately for me, there's not a whole lot out here to burn, so I guess at least I don't have to worry about that. Okay, anyway, the sun has gone down behind whatever those mountains are. I guess, gosh, the farthest range of mountains that we can see right now. Oh my gosh, I don't know. Like I said, I'm no geologist. Whatever the range that is, the sun has gone down behind it. And that means, sadly, it's time for me to get up off my perch and say goodbye to this beautiful view. I'm almost done with my ranch water anyway. Pack up my little camp chair and cruise on the rest of the way home. Look, though, in case you didn't believe me, I really was sitting in my camp chair high on that overlook above the Charles Brown stripe. I'm telling you, this is like the coolest little hideout in the area. You can see there's a little tiny campsite up here, just big enough for, well, really only big enough for one car. There's only a big enough flat space for, well, maybe 2 cars could fit up here. And you could have an awesome little campfire up here. Oh my, it'd be amazing. I think there's even a little teeny tiny bit of Verizon signal up here, which is very rare in this whole area where I live. You don't get any Verizon signal whatsoever anywhere from the time you leave Pahrump back that way about, I don't know, 15, 20 miles. You're in a dead zone in this entire valley. So the fact that there's a little tiny nub of Verizon signal here, I guess it's coming from the tower. I don't know, it's coming from a tower somewhere, but you know, when I'm looking for a campsite, that's one of the factors I take into consideration. Do I have cell signal so I don't have to mess around with setting my Starlink up? Well, now they make the Starlink Mini so easy to set up. It's not really that big a deal anymore, but it's not cheap. So being able to use your cell signal for free is always better. Anyway, I always kind of thought this would be a fun place to camp. The thing is, like, I'm only about, I don't know, 15 minutes from my own cozy bed and my own hot shower. Oh, I haven't been home in a week. I'm really looking forward to getting home. So, you know, why would I want to camp out here when I could just drive 15 minutes and be home? But who knows? One of these days, I just might get a wild hair up my ass and do it. Today, however, is not that day, because I gotta get home and unload all the crap in my car, do some laundry, take a shower, and enjoy the comfort of my own bed. So cheers, everyone. Hope you enjoyed this little peek at it's sort of like my clubhouse, I guess. You know how, like, when you're a kid, you have like your tree house in the backyard, your little secret hideout where the adults don't know where you are? Or even now, you know, guys have their man cave, their little secret spot where the old bag's not allowed to come out. This is my she shed. This is my secret little spot. No boys allowed. But anybody who does a really good ghost impression, hit me up, because it would be fun to post up here on like a Saturday when all the geology people are coming through and really freak them out. Cheers!